This is a show with no particular niche, baby. It's always about hanging out. Maybe we'll laugh at some stuff, maybe we'll learn something new, but it's always about hanging out, me and you. Hi, hello, and welcome to That Thing with James. I'm your host, James, and thank you for tuning in, for listening, and or watching. Yes, in this episode, we are getting back into lighthearted stuff because, baby, I needed a palate cleanser after the last 3 free episodes, which talked about some heavy historical stuff with contemporary implications. It was about the business plot. Yeah, it was about Wall Street trying to do a coup in the USA. Sound familiar? Check it out. It is familiar. But that's not what today's episode is about. Today, we're looking into Jestermaxxing. What am I going to mog on looks maxers? Absolutely. My simple existence, roughly, scruffily though it may be, itself is what's the word I'm looking for? An unstoppable mog on incels. Yeah. What are these words? Do these words mean anything to you at all? Yes? No? Maybe? We're going to find out what the hell it means in today's episode of That Thing with James. But first, quick shout out to those of you who are already patrons. Thank you so much. You rock. And if you're not, and if you didn't know, I do bonus episodes of this show. Sink me. You see, I am a poet, and you did not know it, Scarlet Pimpernel. I record free episodes, such as this one right now that you're hearing and or seeing. And after I record the free episodes, I charge my camera up a little bit and then record a bonus episode. And then the bonus episodes go to my Patreon, which is patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. Once more, that is patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. The link is written in the episode description in case you didn't, in case that link went in one ear and out the other, as names do with me. What was your name again? Yes, I have over 130 bonus episodes. Yes, over 130 bonus episodes on my Patreon, and you can get 30 days of access to all of them for the low price of $5. Yes, 30 days of access for like a couple packs of gum these days, depending on the kind of gum you get. Or if you get one of those, little bucket things like the Pop Top or whatever, with the little pillow-shaped gums, I'm pretty sure after taxes, that costs more than it would for you to get 30 days of access to over 130 bonus episodes of this show. Wow, what a deal. Yeah, so check it out. Support an independent artiste. Support an actor like myself. And as a matter of fact, I got a little info about the acting career stuff, some fun developments. I won't go into great detail here. I'll go into further detail in the bonus episode. But first, once again, patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. Support the show, get a lot of something in return. And thanks again to those of you who are already patrons. I have a show email I still never check. I've got socials, of which I don't mess with TikTok anymore, not after the the Oracle takeover. But yeah, I've got more info written in the episode description if you want to check it out, if you are so inclined. Yes. Where was I going to go next? Let's see. Patreon stuff. Don't want to get to Jestermaxxing just yet. Acting stuff. So, I'm recording this on Sunday, February 22nd. Pending anything unpredicted as of now, this episode should come out the subsequent Friday, which would be, let's see, however many days from now. Yeah. The only thing that would really interrupt this episode coming out the following Friday would be if I hear back on some news today, because I'm calling today as the deadline for me to hear if I got a gig. I may be up for a pretty big network TV show. That's a smaller role, but it's a, hinge, an integral role in an episode of a big network TV show. And I would need to travel if I got the gig. But today, I'm calling it, if I don't hear anything today, then I think it's safe to say I didn't get the gig. But it's not bad news because I got pretty far. But that's all I'm going to say right now. I'll spill more beans without, spilling too much. No spoilers. I'm not going to blow up spoilers. I didn't even sign an NDA. I wasn't, given an NDA. Just respectfully, as a professional actor, I'm not going to give up too many details, but I'll tell you a little more. I'll tell you a little more within reason. Professional, respectful reason in the bonus episode, which you can find at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. But anyway, yes, Jestermaxxing. It's a term I heard last week. I looked it up, and it was basically exactly what I expected it to be. It is part of the incel slang, and we're going to get into it in this episode. We're not going to cover all incel slang because that's a whole rabbit hole. Red pill, black pill. I've known about this stuff for like a decade, okay? It's all stupid as hell, but it's still pretty funny. In how ridiculous it is and how pitiful it all is, because it's all part of the alt-right pipeline. It's really pitiful, mockable stuff. One could say they would be in the right to jest at the concept of Jestermaxxing and looks-maxing. Anyway, let me take a sip of water, pull up my resource pages, and we'll get into it in just a second. Be right back. And we are back. Preliminary information. If you're not terminally online, then maybe you don't know about this kid, clavicular. He's like 18, 19 years old. And he's part of, and like I mentioned before, this is all related to like alt-right pipeline, red pill, black pill stuff. If you don't know what these terms are, if you've maybe heard them but didn't know what the hell they were about, don't worry. We're not going to get into all that. This is just surface stuff, and we're going to focus on the jester thing because I like jesters and such. But first of all, I'm going to consult Out of the Loop subreddit here. Posted 11 days ago, what's going on with all the clavicular stuff? That's this kid that I'm talking about. His, internet / stage name is Clavicular. This person asks, Obviously, he started from within the world of looksmaxxing, which is basically trying to maximize your good looks. Now, of course, this all hinges on very toxic standards of beauty, specifically within the manosphere. That is cishet men, usually cishet white men. That means whatever, cis sexual, regular straight white guys. Okay. This clavicular guy started in the world of looksmaxxing, but now my feeds are dominated with mentions of mogging, which is where, part of these, looks, part of the looksmaxxing thing, maximizing your good looks, part of the beauty standards they strive for is like, basically kind of like how I look naturally, strong jaw, pronounced cheekbones, cheeks kind of suck in, the model look. If you've seen, Christ, what was that, Blue Steel? What the fuck was that movie where Ben Stiller was a model? Zoolander. If you've seen Zoolander, and they do that look where they kind of purse the lips and suck the cheeks in a little bit, that's mogging. That's what they call mogging. I don't know exactly how that term was chosen, but that's mogging. And it's also an action you can do on people where you mog on them, where, you kind of dominate the scene with your good looks, with the blue steel. I can only turn to the left, or was it the right? I don't remember. Yada, yada, yada. This person asks, for that matter, do any of you engage seriously with the big looks maxers? Top answer is, I don't know who you are talking about, but all that stuff like mogging came out of the PUA community 20 years ago, and it was an embarrassment even then. PUA is part of the pickup artist community. So these are the type of people involved with looksmaxxing. They're right-wing grifters. They're always, for some reason, attached to fucking neo-Nazis. And it's also part of pickup artistry, which is manipulative and gross and flatly incorrect on what it means to have an intimate or even friendly human connection with another human being. This person answering the question continues, for the love of your own love life, do not engage. Their job is to make you feel shitty, so you give them money. Exactly. It's all a grift. Another person answers of clavicular, he and everything to do with him is built on pushing men into bouts of body dysmorphia, so intense that they'll listen to anyone and anything that claims will solve their insecurities, including heavy drug use and what I can only charitably call DIY bone reconstruction surgery. This past week, Clavicular was charged with multiple counts of felony ID forging and drug possession. Clavicular is addicted to methamphetamine. Needless to say, you don't want to interact with anything to do with this man. The better off you'll be. Okay, that's all you need to know about that. So let's hop in. They've got all these different words, and it's a lot of pickup artists and incels. They have their own internet terms that involve maxing. So when I heard the term Jestermaxxing, I was like, okay, this is a play on word. It's supposedly, hopefully, mocking this whole looksmaxxing thing. And of course, I did what I do. I go to a search engine and I type in the keyword that I'm interested in learning more about. And this time it was Jestermaxxing. And one of the the first result I got was a link to the subreddit r/confessions. Wow. Also posted 11 days ago, much like the post we just read. Weird. This was posted 11 days ago by Affable Yolk _33. Title: My 16-year-old son won't stop talking about quote unquote Jestermaxxing, and it's starting to scare me. OP writes, I really don't know what to do here. My son is 16, and he's always been the funny one in the family, cracking jokes, doing impressions to make us laugh, but lately it's like that's all he does, and it's getting out of hand. A few months ago, he started saying Jestermaxxing constantly. By the way, maxing is with 2 X's, M-A-X-X, constantly. Before school, he'll go, time to Jestermaxx today. Or when he's on the phone, he'll laugh and say, that was peak Jestermaxxing right there. Jeez, this is so cringe. I figured it was some sort of stupid meme at first, but he literally uses it for everything now. He'll come home from being with friends and tell me, Mom, I Jestermaxxed so hard at lunch, everyone was losing it. Then he practices these over-the-top faces and dances in front of the mirror while saying stuff like, gotta keep that Jestermaxx energy up. It's weird. Side note, I feel for this kid. I mean, this seems innocent and sweet. He's 16 years old. He's still a baby. He just wants to fit in. He wants to have some kind of connection with the people in his life. I'm going to assume, this is innocent and he's having fun. As someone who kind of was the jester, the family jester, I get it. Is it a surprise to you that I was kind of the family jester? Let's keep reading. Where was I? Got to keep that Jestermaxx energy up. It's weird. I asked him straight up what it means because it sounded off. He got kind of mad and said it's about being entertaining so people actually notice you. See, that's not where I came from. I didn't really need people to notice me. It wasn't that sort of thing. I just like to make people feel good. This came from a people pleaser place instead of like a notice me senpai place for me personally. But for the kid, it seems a little different. And the kid continues with, serious dudes just get ignored, but jesters get the clout. Okay, yeah, no, I was not, I was not of this ilk. I was not trying to impress girls in this way. Did I want some girls' attention when I was a kid? Yeah, of course. But I've never really been the type to fall into the unfortunate grift of looks maxing pickup art kind of stuff. I always thought that was just gross and pitiful. Let's keep reading. Serious dudes just get ignored, but jesters get the clout. He showed me some videos of this guy dancing like a maniac in a club and people in the comments calling it Jestermaxxing God tier. It honestly looked humiliating. Now he's doing it at home nonstop. He'll just interrupt us at dinner with some loud random joke or impression, then stare at everyone waiting for a huge reaction. Okay, yeah, I never went this far. No. If we don't laugh enough, he gets quiet and says, y'all don't get the Jestermaxx, and walks off. Family time is exhausting because it's like he's performing all the time instead of just talking normally. I'm starting to worry this is connected to some bad online stuff. Yes and no. I looked it up a little, and it seems related to those looks maxing groups where guys fixate on their appearance and social rank. But this version is just about acting like a clown for attention. He used to talk about girls like a normal teenager, but now he says things like, "Foids only respect you if you Jestermaxx correctly," which I had to search and it made me feel sick. What the fuck is a foid? I'll look that up in a second. Has anyone dealt with their teen getting really into this kind of thing? Is it just a dumb phase he'll grow out of? Or should I be more worried that he's falling into some toxic corner of the internet? He's still a good kid at heart, but I hate seeing him put so much effort into being the joke instead of himself. It feels like if people ever stop laughing, he'll be crushed. Any advice would help a lot. I'm lost here. First, because I'm fixated, what the fuck is a foid? Foid meaning derogatory. Derogatory slang term used within the incel community to refer to women. It is a shortened version of the word femoid or female humanoid. This is all ridiculous. And it is toxic, and it does prey on the insecurities of young men, young teens, young kids. It preys on their insecurities and gets them to spend money on these grifts and ultimately buy into new wave, right-wing, sicko ideologies. It's fucked up. And it's not, at the seed, it's not really anything new, but in the form this entire world is now, I believe, and I think it's a pretty sound idea, is a result of social media. So many young people these days, even young adults, people in their 20s, they grew up in a world. Their entire life experience has been in the presence of social media. And so it's like a panopticon effect where even when they're not online or not on their phone, they feel they are being watched and judged. And this is a result of social media. I'll just say that. Let's read some comments here from this worried parent, rightfully so concerned parent. Top comment, tell him he needs to cut it back before he gets frame mogged. I don't know what frame mogged by a frat leader and gets a cortisol spike in front of the other low tier moids. Is that male humanoids? Okay. Someone replies to that, I am officially old. I do not have a clue what any of that means. To which someone else replies, basically, I think it's saying some other guy embarrassed him or makes him look bad in front of other dudes. Probably just LARP-maxing. I have a 16-year-old son. Okay, so yeah. Cortisol spike is part of the thing, which means just like get, your cortisol spikes from embarrassment or whatever. Another commenter writes, honestly, in 5 years, he'll look back and realize how cringe it was and die of embarrassment. Just a stupid thing everyone does. It'll pass when the next fad comes around. To which someone else replies, cringe-maxing, if you will. Hopefully this 16-year-old will get over this. But we're gonna pop on over to knowyourmeme.com to learn a little more about Jestermaxxing. This is so fucking stupid, but it's lighter than the business plot. So I'm talking about it because it was the idea I had for this episode, which I'll continue after this quick water break. Be right back. Here we go on Know Your Meme. About Jestermaxxing is an incel and looks-maxing slang term describing someone who acts overly funny or entertaining to garner attention from women and friends to compensate for a lack of good looks, wealth, etc., often to the point where they become the butt of the joke and look like a fool or jester. The term started spreading online as early as 2021 on looksmaxxing forums, where it was often considered a negative thing that you should avoid doing. The slang became further popularized between 2025 and 2026, so very recently, as looksmaxxing became less niche. In January of 2026, this is very recent. A clip and tweet of looksmaxxing influencer and streamer Clavicular captioned, "Jestermaxxing at the club is officially the new meta," went viral on websites like TikTok and X/Twitter, becoming a copypasta and inspiring reactions and memes, many of which highlight the absurdity of the post's text. In February 2026, hey, that's right now, the synonymous slang term, jester gooning was popularized online, also in relation to Jestermaxxing. What the hell is jester gooning? Jester gooning is a slang term that combines words jestermaxxing and gooning. The term was coined and popularized in early February 2026 after it was featured in a slang overload tweet about looksmaxxing streamer Clavicular, which played into a trend based on similar slang-heavy posts about the streamer, including the tweet Clavicular getting frame mogged by an ASU frat leader. Oh, so that's what that Reddit commenter was referring to. Okay. The term became a staple in clavicular parody tweets that month, or this month, spreading across social media. While the definition of jester gooning is not confirmed, it is largely used synonymously with jestermaxxing and refers to acting goofy, funny, or entertaining in order to attract the attention of women. What is this frame mogged? What is this about? Clavicular, oh my God, we're going down a rabbit hole. Clavicular frame mogged by ASU frat leader refers to a series of memes based on the caption of a viral tweet attached to a video of kick streamer and looksmaxxer Clavicular posing for a photo with a muscular Arizona State University quote-unquote frat leader Varys Gilage reading, "Clavicular ran into a frat leader at ASU and got brutally frame mogged by him." I'm assuming frame means within the frame of the picture frame. The post was made, yada, yada, yada. None of this means, oh, okay, here we go. Getting frame mogged means that someone near you has a better frame or build than you. This is just so pitiful. This is so worthy of derision. Oh my God. Back to jestermaxxing. Origin. The term jestermaxxing was popularized on looksmaxxing and incel forums in the 2020s. One of the earliest known public uses of the term is a post to the looksmax.org forum made by user LilHorizontal32 on April 15th, 2021, titled "How to Stop Jestermaxxing." In the post, LilHorizontal32 writes, "Kind of always been like this. I still do it now that I'm a bit older because I get ignored in social settings otherwise, and so I use it as a way to get attention. And often that attention becomes just people making fun of me and straight up bullying eventually. Anyone else been through or going through / been through the same thing and know how to stop it? Would be interested to see if you guys can relate. In April 2023, Jestermaxxing was defined on Urban Dictionary as when someone goes out of their way to be funny to make people like them, but most of their jokes is just, this is a quote, most of their jokes is just making themselves look like a fool and an idiot, just like a jester. Now, were jesters really idiots? Let's pop on over to Wikipedia to read a little overview of jesters. A jester, also known as a joker, court jester, or fool, was a member of the household of a nobleman or a monarch kept to entertain guests at the royal court. Jesters were also traveling performers who entertained common folk at fairs and town markets. And the discipline continues into the modern day, where jesters perform at historical themed events. Jester-like figures were common throughout the world, including ancient Rome, China, Persia, and the Aztec Empire. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a European thing. During the post-classical and Renaissance eras, you like that Renaissance era? Jesters are often thought to have worn brightly colored clothes and eccentric hats in a motley pattern. Jesters entertained with a wide variety of skills. Principal among them were song, music, and storytelling, but many also employed acrobatics, juggling, telling jokes, such as puns and imitation, and performing magic tricks. Much of the entertainment was performed in a comedic style. Many jesters made contemporary jokes in word or song about people or events well known to their audiences. So, despite the perhaps surface idea of a jester being an idiot, you would have to be quite knowledgeable, quite witty, and quite talented to be a jester, especially one that gets hired to a royal court. Etymology. The modern use of the English word jester did not come into use until the mid-16th century during Tudor times. Where was I? This modern term derives from the older form of gestor or gestor, spelled a little bit differently, originally from the French meaning storyteller or minstrel. Other earlier terms include fool, F-O-L, dessauer, buffoon, and bordeur. These terms described entertainers who differed in their skills and performances, but who all shared many similarities in their role as comedic performers for their audiences. History. Jester-like figures have been common throughout the world. They were known in China, Persia, and the Aztec Empire. Balatrones. In ancient Rome, balatro, like the game, the highly addicted game that I was playing about a year ago. Great game. I need to pick it back up. A balatro, or balatro, I'm not sure which emphasis, where it goes, was a professional jester or buffon. The balatrones were paid for their jests, and the tables of the wealthy were generally open to them for the sake of the amusement they afforded. There are various theories about the origin of the term. In Horace, Balatro is used as a proper name, Servilius Balatro or Balatro. An old scholastic derives the common word balatro from the proper name, suggesting that buffoons were called balatrones because Servilius Balatro was a buffoon, though others have since objected to this account. Festus derives the word from balatea and supposes buffoons to have been called balatrones because they were dirty fellows covered with spots of mud, balatea, from walking. Another writer suggests a derivation from barathrum, because they, so to speak, carried their jesting to market, even into the very depth, the barathrum of the shambles, barathrum macelli. Balatro may be connected with ballare, to bleat like a sheep, and hence to speak sillily. Others have suggested a connection to blatero, a busybody. So no one really knows. English royal court jesters, the one we're familiar with. Many royal courts throughout English royal history employed entertainers, and most had professional fools, sometimes called licensed fools. Hey, that sounds like a good name for a production company, licensed fool. Fool societies? Oh shit, they had fool guilds? Fool societies, or groups of nomadic entertainers, were often hired to perform acrobatics and juggling. Jesters were also occasionally used as psychological warfare. What the fuck? Jesters would ride in front of their troops, provoke or mock the enemy. You could say they mogged on the enemy, and even serve as messengers. They played an important part in raising their own army's spirits by singing songs and reciting stories. Henry VIII of England employed a jester named Will Somers. His daughter Mary was entertained by Jane Fool. During the reigns of Elizabeth I and James I of England, William Shakespeare, Billy Shakes if you want, wrote his plays and performed with his theater company, the Lord Chamberlain's Men, later called the King's Men. Clowns and jesters were featured in Shakespeare's plays, and the company's expert on jesting was Robert Armin, author of the book Fool Upon Fool. In Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, Festa, the jester, it's probably Festa the jester, Fester the jester, is described as wise enough to play the fool. See, I told you, you got to be really fucking smart to be a jester. In Scotland, Mary, Queen of Scots, also had a jester named Nicola. Her son, James VI of King James, VI of Scotland, employed a jester called Archibald Armstrong. During his lifetime, Archibald Armstrong was given great honors at court. He was eventually thrown out of the king's employment when he overreached and insulted too many influential people. Even after his disgrace, books telling of his jests were sold in London streets. He held some influence at court still in the reign of Charles I and estates of land in Ireland. Anne of Denmark had a Scottish jester named Tom Dury. Charles I later employed a jester called Geoffrey Hudson, who was very popular and loyal. Does that mean he was a pushover and, pulled his punches? Geoffrey Hudson had the title of Royal Dwarf because he was short of stature. One of his jests was to be presented hidden in a giant pie from which he would leap out. Hudson fought on the royalist side of the English Civil War. A third jester associated with Charles I was called Muckle John. Jester's privilege. Jester's privilege is the ability and right of a jester to talk and mock freely without being punished. As an acknowledgement of this right, the court jester had symbols denoting their status and protection under law. The cap, the crown, the cap and bells, and scepter, the marotte, mirrored the royal crown and scepter wielded by a monarch. Martin Luther used jest in many of his criticisms against the Catholic Church. The introduction to the Christian nobility of the German nation, he calls himself a court jester, and later in the text, he explicitly invokes the jester's privilege when saying that monks should break their chastity vows. Political significance. Jesters could give bad news to the king that no one else would dare deliver. In 1340, when the English navy destroyed a French fleet at the Battle of Sluys, Philip VI of France's jester told him the English sailors, quote, don't even have the guts to jump into the water like our brave French, unquote. That's pretty funny. End of the tradition. After the Restoration, Charles II did not reinstate the tradition of court jester, but he did greatly patronize the theater and proto-music hall entertainments, especially favoring the works of Thomas Killigrew. Though not officially a jester, Samuel Pepys records being told that Killigrew, quote, hath a fee out of the wardrobe for a cap and bells under the title of the king's fool or jester, unquote. In the 18th century, that would be the 1700s, yeah, I'm learned, jesters had died out except in Russia, Spain, and Germany. In France and Italy, traveling groups of jesters performed plays featuring stylized characters in the form of theater called commedia dell'arte. This is all part of a book I'm actually writing right now, a novel. The main character is a fool, was a fool in a commedia dell'arte type thing. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. A version of this passed into British folk tradition in the form of a puppet show, Punch and Judy. In France, the tradition of the court jester ended with the abolition of the monarchy in the French Revolution. In 2015, the town of Conwy on North Wales appointed Russell Erwood, aka Erwood the Fool, as the official resident jester of the town and its people, a post that had been vacant since 1295. Wow. Yeah. So, Jestermaxxers. If you're going to Jestermaxx, at least make yourself knowledgeable about the role you are trying to perform. It comes not out of a place of insecurity. To play the fool, to be the jester, to Jestermaxx, requires deep knowledge, skill, and training. So instead of listening to grifters like Clavicular and other red pill, black pill, pickup artist grifters, close the computer, turn off the phone, or turn off social media. hop on over to some educational websites, some historical websites, and learn about historical fools. Because they're not as dumb as you may think. That's it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you want more, become a patron at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye.